So ladies and gentlemen, it is rebuild time yet again on a Sunday, but I have to be honest with you, I'm kind of running out of clubs to rebuild in FM23, which is why I spoke to the sponsor of today's video, Surprise Shirts. So this is Surprise Shirts, the ultimate way to celebrate your love for football with mystery shirts from clubs all around the world. Every single month you will receive an authentic, high quality football shirt handpicked by the team to make you stand out from the crowd. And they have a specific Football Manager version to help you pick your next save. Shirts come in a wide range of sizes from extra small all the way up to a 5X. They also ask if you would like a regular fit or a tighter fit, and ask you if you want short or long sleeves included. You also get the option to say teams or leagues that you do not want to receive. So for instance, when I was filling out my surprise shirt, I asked for no Bristol Rovers kits, please. You also have the option to say that you are happy to receive a non-league shirt. If you're ready to find out where your next FM23 save is using Surprise Shirts, if you head on over to their website, which will be linked down in the description, and use code HOOD on checkout, you will save yourself an extra 10%. So let's dive back to the other Steve and find out who this rebuild is all about. So we have our box, obviously we have our FM edition of the box that you can get delivered to you monthly. So we are going to have a look and take a peek as to who we could have here. Obviously it does come with the very nice card explaining who the shirt is, and it is supremely well gift wrapped. Wow, okay, this is going to be very interesting, ladies and gents. So I'm just going to unbox this one here and we're going to take a look at the shirt together. It looks quite good. It's a little blue and black number with a nice little bit of yellow. Let's hold this one up to the camera so that you guys can see it, and then I will read you the card. So this is the shirt right here, looking really nice. Obviously I think it'll be a really nice one to go up on the wall at some point, obviously with this, but let's go back to the card. Let's take a look at the card and we'll talk about who this team is. So let's open the card. We have 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. It's their away shirt from the 2022-2023 season. It is a Serbian professional club based in a small western town, and they compete in the Serbian First League. So for those of you guys who are unaware, that is a Red Star Belgrade shirt, obviously from my save with Red Star Belgrade last year, where we ultimately took them all the way back to winning the Champions League like they did in 1991. So I am familiar with Serbia. So if we dive into the game, you can see here 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. And obviously I couldn't find their kits because they're in the second division, but this shirt right here is the one that I do have. Now, if we have a look at the club, they're not fantastic, I must admit. So this is going to be a very interesting one, and obviously we are going to be diving back into Serbian football, which I've not revisited since that save with Red Star. So obviously we've got 6s for training facilities, youth facilities, junior coaching, and a 9 actually for youth recruitment, because we do know that good new gens come out of Serbia. But if we go into the competitions tab and take a look at things, we will be taking a look at the Serbian second division, or primary division, because I think if we go up it's the Super League. Yeah, Superliga. Yeah, there you go, with Red Star in there, etc, etc. So that is where we're going to be ultimately trying to get, but we have to get ourselves out of this first division, which is going to be very, very interesting, because if we go into the team and the tactic, we are going to be using obviously GYR Swanzalona, but the team is actually looking quite good, quite tasty. This is probably my star player, I would say, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. He looks very decent. I'm not sure where he's going to play, on the left hand side or if he's going to play as a striker, but he looks like my best player. Obviously bounced around a couple of teams in Serbia as well, but I'm looking forward to getting my hands on him. If we go back to the competitions tab just for a second and take a look at the division that we're actually competing in, we do have the Serbian Cup as well. If we take a look at the season preview, we are predicted to finish down in 13th. So this is going to be a really, really, really interesting one, because I think ultimately I want to get back here, and I also want to take a look at the past winners, because if we have a look, there is no team that has been outside of Belgrade. Obviously Partizan and Red Star have won the division every single time. Every single time that the competition has existed, obviously there was a bit of a break here, and there's a club here that no longer exists. Let's break that dominance, shall we? I'm going to put it out right now. This video will not end until I win the Serbian Superliga. Let's get through this first season and see if we can get promoted out of the second tier. Okay, so season 1 is in the books, and we've managed to get ourselves promoted right off the rip. Obviously, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 is working an absolute treat with this. We go up in first position, but interestingly enough, if we did finish in second behind 𝘼𝙗𝙤, obviously that is a feeder club to Red Star, as we do know from our history there, we would have gone up anyway. So obviously, as you can see, the gap in the team in second, they don't get promoted because they can't play in the same division as Red Star, and obviously ourselves and FK get promoted, and there is a playoff going on as well. But if we take a look at the division at the full stages, there we go. Final stages, all groups. Obviously, the league in Serbia splits into 2. We were in the top half of that, and obviously we do go on to get ourselves promoted. 4 teams unfortunately do get relegated, but we will be playing in the Serbian top flight next season. Ultimately, I think the team's done really, really well. This guy, Nikola Disic, has done supremely well for me, actually. 34 goals and 5 assists in all competitions. Big fan. The thing I'm not a big fan of, he's leaving. Really disappointing. 24-year-old Serbian. I would have loved to have kept hold of him, but unfortunately, he wanted to join a squad, a team with a better squad than ours. So annoyingly, he is departing, which is really, really frustrating. In terms of the other competitions, we got knocked out in the first round of the Serbian Cup, but ultimately, this season for me was about getting ourselves promoted into that Serbian top flight, because we can't win it if we're not in that division. So we're going to try and strengthen for season number 2. You are going to see me penny pinch like hell right now. So basically, we've got a transfer budget of 30,000, and we've also got a wage budget of £8,400. This is less than your average championship player is on. That is the wage budget for my entire squad. So we are going to move the budget, all 30k of it, thanks Zlatibor board, into our wage budget. We're going to have just shy of £9,000 a week to improve this team to make the step up to the Superliga. Let's see who we can bring in. So guys, transfer update going into season 2. I'm just going to rattle through some of these players quickly, because I understand a large portion of you won't know who these players are, because I will be honest and hold my hands up, I didn't either. So first of all, we've got this guy, Predrag Stanimirovic. I'm butchering these. I'm sorry, all Serbians that follow my channel. I do apologize. He is our new right back. He comes in, looks like a nice improvement there. We've also signed ourselves a new left back. Obviously, again, another improvement on there. We've also signed this guy, Milos Dordovic. He looks very nice to come in at centre back for us. Nice supreme heading, good marking, good tackling for this level. Obviously, remember, I am in Serbia. I'm not in the Champions League, so these players aren't going to be elite tier, because when good players get discovered in Serbia, like I found with Luka Kana, they obviously disappear quite quickly. He is 6'2" though, so I'm a big fan of that at the back. We also signed Dennis here. He looks quite good to play up top. Former Partizan player, had 7 appearances for Partizan. Milos, which is interesting because that's what I call my dog. He's called Milo. Milos, he is another centre back that's come in for us. Then we've also got Marko Simic. He comes in to be a new central attacking midfielder for us. Again, looking relatively creative. Has bounced around. Look at this guy's history. This guy played everywhere in Serbia, and now he's playing for Zlatibor. We've also signed this guy as well, Stefan Markovic. He looks very good as well to be our centre back. But if we go into the team and we quick pick without restriction our best 11, this is how the team is looking for the season. I also have to touch our goalkeeper, actually. Mateja Maslarevic is very good. He is very, very good. I'm expecting to lose this guy at some point. He is potentially the best player, if not one of the best players in our team. But we're quite top heavy at the moment. Rakic, Simic, Stojkovic, and Kumic is how I'm going to attempt to say these this time, are very good, as are the 2 midfielders. The defense is kind of lacking a little bit. I'm basically going to try and outscore everybody in this division in the games that I feel I can compete with. Obviously, Red Star, we're not going to beat them. Partizan, the likes of them. Vojvodina, we're not going to beat them yet either. We just need to try and pick up as many points as we possibly can to survive, which if we go into the stages last season, some of the teams that did survive, obviously the relegation, the team in 10th actually did get relegated in the end, which is absolutely savage. That's what happens when you enter some of these playoff positions. Obviously, the top 5 qualify for a European competition, but Red Star did win it last season. If we go into the season preview, we are predicted to finish stone dead last. 16th, odds of 800 to 1 with this team to see how we can get on in season number 2. I just want to avoid relegation. Let's see if we can do it. So guys, season 2 is over, and I am so surprised at what we've been able to achieve here at 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 in season number 2. We were in the final phase, we were in Group A, we were in the top tier, and we actually finished in 5th. I cannot believe how this has happened. Obviously, the points stay exactly the same all the way through the season, but obviously we do split into that top half and that bottom half. If we expand the league just ever so slightly, if we have a look at the final phase and we look at all the groups, there you go. You can see we have finished in 5th. We're quite a way behind everybody else. We were 11 points behind Partizan and 31 points between ourselves and Red Star at the top of the league. So they win their 2nd trophy in a row. They only lost 4 times all season, but ultimately for a team that were predicted to finish stone dead last, 800 to 1, I think we've done okay here. 18 victories throughout the course of the season, 6 draws and 13 defeats. We do concede an awful lot of goals, but we got enough points to be very competitive in this division. We didn't get relegated, which I am so happy about. We also actually do qualify, jokingly, for the Europa Conference League. Now, we're going to have to go through the qualification campaign and stuff like that, but I'd love to get this team into Europe. Obviously, improve the Super League positioning. Obviously, in Serbia, we are currently down in 13th because the teams aren't representing well in Europe. We are now going to be one of those, so I'm hoping we can push through onto next season and actually represent Serbia in Europe. I think that would be absolutely crazy. So you'd think going into the season we would have a nice transfer budget, right? Incorrect. We are going into the Conference League with a transfer budget of £23,500 and a wage budget of £9,540. Now, we are obviously going to do the exact same as we did do last season, move everything across, so our wage budget is just going to be shy of £10,000. If I go into the competitions and just have a look at this and show you the team detailed wages and salary per annum, obviously, we're stone dead last. 257,000 is our salary. Red Star at the top, 4.93 million. But if I can do this for some relevance, Sky Bet League One. Do I have this loaded in for this particular save? I do not. Let's try again and see if we have it. Do I have it? I do have it. So if we go into the team detailed, our Red Stars was 4 million. So 4 million would put Red Star sort of in and around Peterborough, Oxford, Charlton. So it's a League One budget. We are far and away below that. If we have a look at Sky Bet League 2, Sky Bet League 2 clubs still have 4 times our budget, and I didn't load in the National League. So you can kind of see the sort of area that we're battling at. We're at Sky Bet League 2 budgets, but we are going into the Europa Conference League. So let's see what players we can bring in to improve this team for continental football. So guys, here we are, transfers for season number 3 with 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 over in Serbia. We have again only recruited 3 transfers to improve our team. Vanja has come in. He is a central midfielder, a massive improvement in this particular area. I think he's a decent Super League player, has the potential to be a good Super League player. He's good in big matches, he's versatile, he's athletic despite having 10 pace. It says one of his pluses is athleticism, strength and stamina. There we go, that's why. He's also 6'1". We've also brought in 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, who looks, again, relatively decent as a squad player. He'll come in, again, bolster that midfield, give us several options in that midfield, which we are desperately needing. A backup striker, Nikola Popovic, comes in again to be, as I said, backup striker. We needed bodies because we are running out of players in this team. We also signed another goalkeeper. It's always good to have competition at goalkeeper. He was too good for me to not sign, to be honest. 16 positioning, high determination, nice reflexes and stuff like that, one-on-ones handling, the sort of stuff you do look for in a goalkeeper as well. Tesic comes in as well. Again, you'll see the squad in a minute. He comes in as a fringe player. And Lazar Mitrovic, another Mitro, not the right one. I would love to bring Fulham's Mitrovic back to Serbia at some point in this save, but I don't think it's going to happen. Squad-wise, we have lots of players, but as you can see, I do have these 4 greyed-out players here. It is because I just cannot find a deep enough squad of players that want to come and play for me. It is really, really difficult to improve this team because our reputation is really, really poor. This is how the team is looking for the season. Obviously, we do have the Europa Conference League, which we are participating in. We enter in the second qualifying round. So hopefully we can get our way through, which will be really, really nice. But I'm talking about this reputation. We have a national standard reputation. It's not great. Look at the stadium that we're playing in. Again, also sub-ideal. We're going to be trying to do our damnedest and see what we can do in all of these competitions. I would love to make a group stage, which it won't be. It'll be a league stage, won't it? Now we're in season 3. But in terms of the Super League, if we take a look at things, it's actually taken a nosedive. It is now down in 19th there, which is sub-ideal. If we take a look at the season preview, we're 400 to 1 now to win the division, predicted to finish in 14th, which would still see us in that relegation battle. Red Star again are at odds-on favourites to win this title yet again. Obviously, I need to bring in some more bodies because, well, I don't want to play greyed out players because they are usually pretty poor. Let's simulate through the year and see what I can do in season number 3 and see if we qualify for a continental competition via the qualification route. So guys, season 3 is done and dusted, and we are back again talking about some of these competitions. In season number 3, we actually finished in 5th again, but because of the coefficient drop of the division, we don't get into Europe this time around. And I actually think that's going to be quite detrimental for us, really. I really wanted to be in a European competition because we had a poor showing in the Europa Conference League. We got through the second round of qualifying and we did get into the third round, where unfortunately we came up against Celta Vigo. That was a problem. We lost 3-0 at home. We lost 4-1 away. Teams of this caliber should not be in this competition. Obviously, they've got some really good players. They did really, really well. Absolutely annihilated us. They go into the competition. Fair play, Celta Vigo. We got to the quarterfinals of the Serbian Cup. We were knocked out by Red Star. Obviously, my boys from a couple years ago. In terms of the league, again, we kind of dropped off. Red Star go on to win yet another title. Obviously, they are quite prolific at this, it would appear. If we open up the final groups, and let's just look at our group A, we finish, what is that, 7 points behind Vojvodina, and quite away, almost 30 points again behind Red Star. Partizan just 4 points behind them. Again, our issue, we are just shipping too many goals. 64 goals against is absolutely criminal at this stage, but hopefully we can push things forward. No Europe again is going to be kind of an issue. Our reputation is still at national standard, but we are currently in a different stadium, it would appear, which is good. A slightly bigger stadium, 4,350 capacity. Great. In terms of the transfer budget, again, guys, it's still awful. It's still really bad. You're going to have to see me wheel and deal. If we move everything in, we'll be at the same, £9,995. The overall balance of the club, though, is actually quite nice. $500,000 for Serbia is quite good. I'm hoping I can actually start spending that because this team really needs it. I'll be back for the transfers for season number 4 in just a sec. So guys, we're back for season number 4, and I do have a very interesting transfer to talk to you about. We signed this man, Ricardo Tokolo. Now, he looks really, really good. He's come out of Croatia. He's 18 years of age. I'm going to have to be prolific at finding these new gens. Obviously, I do have my new gen filter that I use to find these caliber of players. Now, I understand what you're saying, Steve. He's not actually that good. Give me some time with him. I think some game time. He has all the fundamentals to become a good striker in Serbia. He has good dribbling, good finishing, good first touch. Okay. I don't care about his passing, to be perfectly honest. That 16 technique leads me to believe that he is going to be quite good. Good off the ball as well. Nice work rate. Physically, he's a little bit lacking, but I think this guy is going to come in and be an absolute beast for us. I've definitely clicked the wrong thing there. There we go. Let's close that one and go on to his career stats. You can see we picked him up for free. He did score 19 goals last season. I think he's going to come in and be our main striker. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. Remember the name. We have sold some players as well on the other side just to make a little bit more cash. Darko has gone, the goalkeeper that we did sign. He wasn't good enough to get a place in our team, so we sold him. 14.5k for him. And Mitrovic, again, not getting the game time that he would require. Obviously, bringing in the other striker is a problem for him. We've also signed a couple of free agents from other teams within Serbia. We brought this guy in, Stefan Dabic. He comes in to be another right back seemingly being a problem for us right now. We've also brought in this guy, Filipovic, to be another centre-back. Again, a bit of a journeyman, kind of 31 years of age, but we need some experience in this team as well. He comes in from Spartak. We also signed this guy, Filip from Vojvodina. Again, the fullback positions I'm finding really hard. I actually found fullback really difficult to get a player for when I was Red Star anyway, and they had a much bigger clout and much bigger budgets than this. So he comes in to play at left back for us, and Bosco is the last player. He's got almost double digits all over the shop, just looking like a well-rounded player. He comes in from TSC, and I'm hoping he can really improve us. So if we quick pick without restriction our best 11 for the season, this is how we're looking. So with 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 and 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, I actually think we're going to score quite a lot of goals. I'm putting a lot of faith on this new gen, and that is kind of going to be my transfer strategy moving forward. We're going to pick up the new gens as quickly as we possibly can. In terms of the competitions, though, no Europe this year, so just the Cup and the League. And if we go into the League and we take a look at the season preview, 300-1 now, so the odds are getting better, but some of the players that are lurking around here in the main two teams, obviously Red Star and Partizan, are still incredibly good, and we still need to figure out how we are going to close that gap. I would love to finish inside the top 4 in season number 4. Let's simulate and see how we get on. So season number 4 is done and in the books, and we've actually dropped off a bit this year, and I cannot figure out how to get the job done here. This is such a struggle for us. I think we're going to have to ultimately sell some of our best players to improve, and I had this issue before, but not this level. We finished in 6th this year, 51 points. That is our lowest points return, minus 10 in terms of the goal difference. We did reach the semi-finals of the Cup though, but ultimately a very disappointing season. The board expectation for us the whole time is to just avoid relegation, which we obviously have done. We do finish in Group A, but again, sub-ideal. Partizan get their hands on a title, so that's very interesting. Obviously, with those boys winning the league, obviously that is the first one in quite a long time that hasn't gone to Red Star. Shout out this guy. Shout out Ricardo 𝘼𝙗𝙪𝙯. Now, I said he could be a good striker, and it looks like he has been a good striker for us. 28 goals and 3 assists this season. He wants to move to a club with a stronger squad. This is going to be a problem. Obviously, I need to try and make some money on him. 500 to 900k. If I can get the top end of that bracket, I'd be supremely happy. He's now got 1 cap and 1 goal for the Croatia under-21s, and he's been quite a good goal scorer in this competition for us. If we have a look, second top goal scorer, this guy, Roger, has gone off for Novi. But yeah, second top goal scorer in the division. Even if someone like Partizan or Red Star take a punt on this guy, I'd be happy to sell him for that top end value. Ultimately, a rather disappointing season. We did drop off. Looking at the finances for next season, if we move the wage budget or the transfer budget into the wages again, just over 10.5 grand. The overall balance is kind of changing because we are trying to upgrade our facilities and stuff like that. Obviously, we do have a little bit of a different stadium that we are being built. We have a look. Yes, due to move into the new capacity, 3,445 capacity Zlatibor Stadium in 2027. So at the end of the next season. So that's going to be very interesting to see how we do go on there. We've not got a lot of money. I'm going to have to wheel and deal and try and bring in as many of these new gen players as humanly possible. Let's see what we can do for season number 5. So guys, here is the transfer update for season number 5, and I'm really hoping this is the one where we start closing the gap, because the new gens are here. Vincenzo Meyer comes in. He is a young player out of Belgium. He's been capped at the under-20 level and comes in with 17 heading. I think this guy could be an absolute danger for us. He comes in on a free transfer, having played 30 times for his club last season, averaging a really nice rating throughout the course of his career so far. Vincenzo Meyer comes in. Nice teamwork as well. I think he could be a nice addition for us as well. Vladimir Kovacevic, there we go. He comes in, another centre-back for us, obviously squad player. We don't want to go over the top. He is 33 years of age. He is a journeyman. He has played lots of football in his career. This guy, on the other hand, not played as much football in his career. 23 years of age, again, comes in on a free. A former 𝘼𝙗 player that has barely played, actually, scratch that, has never played for 𝘼𝙗. So hopefully we can move forward and progress with him. Misa Gojakovic, sure. Another central midfielder, obviously Serbian, has bounced around several clubs already. Most of these on free transfers. Actually played okay in his last 2 years in his club, which obviously I'm hoping can translate to the Serbian top flight. Luka comes in as well, another young player, 23 years of age, to play in this right back position. I'm hoping he can be the right back that leads us to glory, because all the other right backs I've signed have been quite poor. Ivan Doric comes in as well, another former, where did I see? He former Red Star player, but in 2013 to 15. He's bounced around the league as well. Most recently been playing his football in Bosnia, hasn't played at all, so I'm hoping he can get back to some sort of form there. And then the final player that we have signed is this guy, Veljko Mladenovic. Sure, he is a good little option for us, as I am highly expecting our star player Tokolo to get a transfer. If we quick pick without restriction our best 11 for this season, we've obviously got a little bit more squad depth now. I've still got some grayed out players. I need to sign a backup goalkeeper as well, but this is the team, guys. My goalkeeper, also very unhappy, wants to move to a bigger club. He wants to leave me. So we're gonna have to see what happens for this season. Obviously, I think the team's okay. I do think the team's okay. Obviously, we've got our main man, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, who's been here the whole time. Big shout out to him. Progressing quite nicely. Obviously, 25 goals in that first season in the Super League. And then has been relatively consistent ever since. I need another centre-back, guys. I just can't find the players that want to join. Every time I get close to finding a player that wants to join, they end up going somewhere else. I've not got a huge amount of money to spend either. I've got about £300 a week, which isn't going to sign me anybody at all. We do have the Serbian Cup and the league as well. We are 𝘼𝙗 in the Serbian league, 350 to 1 to win the division. We've actually gone backwards, it would appear, and Red Star back to being favourites for the title. Let's simulate season 5 and see what we can do. Okay, guys, so season 5 is in the books, and we've actually gone back to basically where we were. We finished in 5th, but I'm actually much more happy with this season. We finished with a plus goal difference, finished with +4, and we're actually just behind some of these teams. We're only 10 points now behind Partizan, so obviously we're 14 points now behind Red Star, and a couple of seasons ago that was 30 points. So I'm hoping we can improve things just that little bit. If we have a look at the stages, the final phase, and let's talk Group A, you can see there we have kind of closed the gap. But I do have an update to give you, because our man Ricardo Tokolo, he has gone. He is now a Partizan player. He left us in the middle of the season, the little rat. But we actually got some good money for him. £1.5 million. He'd scored 19 in 21 for us. And Partizan decided that they wanted a bit of that. Proven goal scorer in the division. And unfortunately, he departs for 1.5 million. But what 1.5 million does do for us is give us a lot more cash, guys. So I actually have money for this level to spend. Obviously, it could go up to 2 million for Tokolo as well for next season. There it is, guys. I have money, and I am looking to spend it. It is burning a hole in my pocket. This save is about to get interesting, because next year I want top 4. I have almost 900 grand to spend on players. let me get to spending. Here we go, guys. We are ready to talk about season number 6, and the transfers are coming right here, right now. No additional transfers out, but several transfers on the way in. Nemanja comes in, another striker for us, a central attacking midfielder for us. We needed a little bit of depth in that particular position. Leandro Benedetti comes in, former Sampdoria player, former Bari player over in Italy. Again, looks kind of well-rounded for the division. I'm actually quite happy with him. Lots of double digits everywhere, and the ones that aren't double digits are actually pretty close. Lots of 9s and stuff like that. 27-year-old, a little bit of a journeyman there. Carlison, he comes in, new gen from Brazil. Thank you very much. He comes in, 16 free kick taking, 20 determination. Is kind of the sort of player that I'm looking for to get a little bit better in the team. And I think he can do that. He can play anywhere through the middle as a good player. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Mario Iglesias, he comes in. He's going to be our left back moving forward, I would imagine. Good tackling, good marking. Can't head the ball. He's 5'9". He's got 3 heading. I will make sure we don't put the ball in the air to this guy. Uros comes in. Lukic, he comes in. Former AKA St. Polten player. Young Serbian player though, capped at under 19 level, 19 years of age. He is probably going to be our leading centre-back moving forward. He comes in, he's been on loan at this club for 4 years in the Youth Academy League from this team in Austria, who have produced a Serbian, which I'm all for, to be honest, because we need some players, and he comes in on a free transfer. We've also signed this guy as well, another Uros, Miladonovic. He comes in, a winger that can play on that left-hand side, is a big option for us. And then the last person that we've signed, Dario 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, again, it can play all through that middle of the pitch, which is exactly what we are looking for. 24 years of age, and we do have some transfer activity still going on. We are trying to sign a couple more players. This is one of them, Milos Rozovic. I think could be a good option for us. We do have a big hole to fill up top, and I do have to talk about our big hole to fill at the back. Our goalkeeper who wanted to leave to join a bigger club, he is leaving on a free transfer at the end of this season, guys. So that is going to be devastating for me, because I have a goalkeeper hole to fill, as well as all these other problems in the team that I have to compete with. Serbian Cup, obviously we do have that one, and the league. The board continue to expect us to fight against relegation. We will continue to do as good as we can do, but it looks like the transfers that we have made have been able to allow us to close the gap. We are now 150 to 1. We're kind of being an established club now, and obviously that big sell of our star striker at the time really did help boost those coffers and kind of allow us to push on up the division. Let's see how we get on in season number 6. Okay, guys, so season number 6 is done and dusted, and we've finally done it. We finally cracked our way into that top 4. We finish on 74 points, our best points total so far, but Partizan do go on to win the league. They are on 86 points, so just 12 now. We have really closed that gap, and to be honest, if we take a look at the schedule as well, in that final stage, we have been very good, to be honest. We beat Partizan 5-1, we beat Red Star 2-1 as well. The team is really starting to cook now towards the back end of this season. Obviously, we do have the big winter break, and there is a reason for that. I do need to talk to you about some of the players that we have signed. We have been out and we've signed a couple more players, actually. So as the season was starting, we signed this guy from Grafica, a former Red Star player, youth prospect that has obviously been sent there. Very good mentally, can come in and be a good centre-back for us. We also signed this guy, Bosnian youth international, 12 caps, can play as a centre-back, but I'm trying to look at him at maybe filling in at that right back position. And then this is the guy, Idrissa Gueye, not the one that you're thinking of. This is Idrissa Gueye, the Senegalese youth prospect. This guy knows where the goal is. Now, he is actually probably a little bit better than Tokolo in terms of actually being a pure finisher. 19 goals in 16 games since we brought this guy in. He was a free transfer. Coming in, has been relatively decent in terms of his goal scoring over in Senegal. Generation Foot is where he's come from. I would like to be able to play in Senegal. I would love Sports Interactive to add more African leagues, but he came in and was an absolute stud for us in the back end of the season. He, as you can see, is our top goal scorer for the club with 19 goals, and we only signed him in January, guys. But I think this is a really, really good step. If you take a look at the finances, 731k in the overall balance. We've got a transfer budget of $500,000 now. That wage budget, if we can slide it all across, we can't, is 21,000. So we're progressing quite nicely, genuinely. I think this could be a very good time to push forward. This is our best finish, guys. We just need to build on it and build the right players around 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, and then we can push and see if we can win this title. So guys, transfer update for season number 7. And here it is. Nothing. Nothing in, nothing out. I was unable to find players that really wanted to come to the team and would have actually made us better. The reputation thing has been huge. We've got 2.5-star reputation now, but it's still a national standard. We are struggling, guys. We are into our brand new stadium, the 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 Stadium, which is nice. 3,500. I don't know if that's good for Serbia. Someone in the comments will have to tell me. But we have our brand new stadium now. Undersoil heating, good. The stadium condition, again, very good. So we're happy with how things are going there. But I am trying to bring in some players. We need a goalkeeper. We're looking at Boris here, Radanovic. He is a former Cagliari player, former Atalanta player, former Verona, Cremonese, Salernitana. He has bounced around Italy, the young 32-year-old Serbian. He's basically my age. He's not played in a couple seasons, so I'm hoping he can come in and actually do a job for us in goal, because obviously our goalkeeper did leave, and we've been out signing new gens again, or trying to. Nicolas Soriano, he is about to join the club, free agent coming out of Argentina. He looks exceptional. I'm really, really happy with him if he does decide to join. A massive step for us in terms of that left back position. 16 positioning, high determination, as well as good concentration as well. Coming in on a free transfer would be absolutely huge, because we do have the Europa Conference League again, ladies and gentlemen. By finishing in 4th last season, we did qualify for that Europa Conference League. It says we finished in 6th here. That's in the preliminary phase. There we go, Group A. We finished in 4th, so we get the Conference League again this season. We do have to go through the qualification process for that. We're in that second round. We take on Basel. I'm not actually thinking we're going to do quite well here. I'm not thinking it's going to go well, but we're about to start the season, and at the moment no players have come in and joined us. I'm hoping we can kind of do really well here. I hope this is the good season. The board expectation is to finish inside that top half, and if we take a look at the season preview, that has us now 150-1, predicted to finish in 6th. We are really making some strides, but looking at our man Turcolo there, he is now the top goal scorer or top striker in the league for Partizan, which is kind of upsetting for me. And they have now paid us the full 2 million. So happy days, cheers Partizan. But the issue is we are obviously going to have to overcome Partizan and Red Star in this. I'd love a little European run. I'd love a Serbian Cup run. But ultimately the goal is to win the league and take it away from Partizan and Red Star. Let's simulate season number 7 and see if it's a lucky number season for us. So guys, it has happened, finally. 7 seasons in, some disappointing performances in Europe, but we have won the league. We have taken the league title away from Partizan, away from Red Star, and we are technically now the best team in Serbia. I'm sorry, all my Red Star fans. Sorry guys, but we got the job done. If you take a look at the league, you can see why we have done so well. If we take a look at the final stage in Group A, it's the golden... Actually, let's expand this fully. Come on, Stephen. There you go. Let's expand this fully so you can kind of see. We have been goal-scoring machines. We have scored 103 goals this season, almost double of that of Red Star, the team that did come in second. 103 goals scored. Yes, okay, we conceded 52, but we're being attacking at the point. But we win the league by 1 point, which is absolutely huge. We qualify next season. It would be a Champions League campaign, which I'd be very much looking forward to, but I will not be playing it. In terms of everything else, this is the main reason, guys. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, I've never heard of this guy, this particular version of him. He is a stud. He scored 55 goals for us in all competitions, and he is an absolute monster. He's currently wanted by Nuremberg and Las Palmas. He's valued at £1.4 million, but look at how much he went off. 48 goals in 37 league appearances, along with 13 assists. This guy was an absolute monster for us. If we take a look at the tactic, you can kind of see who has done quite well here. We've got 9 goals here for a couple of these players, but this team is looking quite tasty now. Now, I do have to touch on this goalkeeper that we did sign, Rajab. He came in from St. Pauli over in Germany to be our starting goalkeeper. He's 5'10", so he is tiny, but I was hoping that he would be quite good and have good potential. He did concede a decent amount, but 12 clean sheets throughout the course of the season. I'm not mad at it. He is a lot smaller than I would like, but he's got 3 caps for Tanzania now, so fantastic stuff for him. The team is good. We finally won in Serbia. Let's talk about the Europa Conference League. We did lose to Basel. 5-4 on aggregate. This is a poor game for us away in Switzerland, losing 4-1, especially with 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 getting sent off, one of our centre backs. That kind of compounded the issue, but at the time we were already 3-0 down, so bit of a disappointing one to go out of the Europa League in that particular fashion, but the next round would have been quite tough regardless. In terms of the Serbian Cup, we got to the quarterfinals of the Serbian Cup, annoyingly knocked out 1-0 by Partizan, and Nemanja Jovic doing the job there, but ultimately I don't care. We're the best team in Serbia. That was the hardest challenge that I have ever done, managing this team in Serbia. A massive shout out to today's sponsor, Surprise Shirts. As I mentioned, please do go and check them out. Their links will be down in the description, and if you use code HOOD in checkout, you will save yourself 10% on any orders that you do, and obviously that would help me as well, because hopefully I'd like to continue this partnership. But that is the rebuild for today. If you do like the rebuild content, check out this playlist popping up right here right now, which will be every single rebuild that we've done on this year's game so far.